There's a really funny trend I'm seeing lately, a lot from CrossFitters, and they're them boasting different squat programs that they're on, and different Russian squat programs, Smolov squat program, and this and that and the other. And it just keeps coming up lately, and there must be more of this internet craze of promoting different squat routines. And I think this really is preceded by the realization that CrossFitters who want to become good realize strength is such a very high and important piece of the puzzle there, and something they need to focus on and prioritize on. And then they just kind of get caught up in perhaps these programs and these flashy reports on certain various programs, and reporting all these huge squat gains and this and that. Now, nothing against those programs at all necessarily, but really what the important point here is that they're experiencing is really following a program or following a consistent plan, and that's just simply smart training. And that's really one of the inherent problems in CrossFit from the get-go, is that it's randomized and there's no plan and it's being ready for anything. But that's why it's inadequate in terms of a sports-specific sort of training program, and really any sort of progressive result-inducing sort of program beyond just the initial onset. So any good sports performance coach or trainer, it knows this from the get-go, and they already know that. And it doesn't have to be this amazingly thought-out, elaborate squat program or strength training program. It just has to be consistent training with those strength training movements. It could be that Monday is squat day, Friday is deadlift day, whatever the case may be for you, that you do those lifts and you do them routinely. What I tend to hear is when I ask a CrossFitter, so what'd you do in your last back squat workout? They're like, oh, we squatted 2 weeks ago, and it was part of their WOD or something like that. Or, oh, we bench pressed last Wednesday. And I mean, it's just basically on random times and places with random reps and sets. And strength isn't exactly random. It's pretty specific, and it's something that you need to make a staple in your training. And you don't need to just overreact and follow some fancy schmancy program that everyone on the internet's following. So the first thing you need to do is get your ducks in a row and have a consistent training program, and understand that there's certain elements and priorities and foundational movements you need to have in your training program all the time. Cut and dry. There's certain lifts that are always going to be there. Back squat, front squat, deadlift, things of that nature, your Olympic lifts, they're always going to be there. And whether you do them in a WOD as well as part of your metabolic conditioning or something like that's up to you. But those are preliminary prerequisite lifts that need to be there all the time. And you won't go through these sort of crazy life-changing experiences of following this one program and seeing the results, when at the end of the day you would have probably had similar results just following a routine, smart, rational strength training program. So if you did those programs, you did something like that, fine, I'm not criticizing you. The point being, after the fact, you need to maintain what you did by staying on consistent squatting or whatever the strength training exercise that might have been. So don't overreact to that phenomenon, and just realize this is a good lesson in programmed, rational, smart training, and keeping the basics in there routinely, and not completely living by random fly by the seat of your pants, shooting from the hip sort of training programs.